Hi Gemini, welcome to your June reading. Happy birthday. This is just going to be a general and love focus. They were split last month and they sort of suffered in time because of that. Like, they weren't as long, and it was good focusing in on the love energies, but I sort of feel like what's meant to come through is going to come through. So there's a new moon coming up in your sign on the 13th of June, and this is all about the things that you can manifest from within and for you personally. So things that you can manifest for your future, whether you want to be more confident, whether you want to be better at keeping time, whether you want to take on a new hobby, a new exercise, things like that. Things that you can do personally for yourself and see results from. So it's not really about manifesting, say, the ideal partner or the ideal job. It's more about bringing forth from within yourself what it is that you want to be for yourself. Like, really selfish intentions. So be as selfish as you like in the things that you want for yourself. I'm sort of feeling this like magician energy with you guys. I mean, it's a Gemini card, but it's sort of feeling very strong. Like, I was thinking about reading for you guys earlier. I think you were the most views that I had in May. So I was thinking about you guys and I was just like, magician, 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 magician. But for some of you, there's like a crisis in self-confidence with the magician energy. It's like, it's almost like some of you are feeling like you're having a string of bad luck, like little things, or, for some of you, you're not feeling that way. You feel like you're actually getting what you want. The sun just popped out, so that's more you guys. I feel like those of you that are dealing with Leos, or you have Leo in your chart, are probably enjoying yourself. You're probably feeling a little bit more optimistic. I do have a feeling that the people that may have Virgo somewhere in their chart, whether it's your moon or rising, are maybe feeling a little bit off balance. I feel like if you have maybe a moon, rising, Venus, whatever, in Sagittarius, Virgo, Pisces, or Gemini, you're probably feeling a little bit wishy-washy about stuff. Like, you're not feeling completely focused. So let's see what we've got going on for you, Gemini, and see if we can focus this. First card we have is the Magician. Right, yeah, so okay, makes sense. It's crossed by the Queen of Swords, so this is you as well. So yeah, some of you are getting in your own way, particularly the women. Or maybe it's, for the men, maybe you're feeling a little bit like a crisis in confidence about a certain woman or your relationship with the female in your life. For the most part, I do feel like this is getting in your own way, and it's letting your, it's like letting your emotions run away with you, or letting your over-analysis run away with you, like you're thinking too much. If you're trying to manifest something in your life, and by manifest, I mean you want to see your thoughts take shape into something in the physical world or the emotional world, like you want to manifest, say for some example, you want to manifest to be more optimistic. You're getting in your own way because you're overthinking things. So you're trying to be more optimistic. I mean, that Sun card popped out. To me, that's optimism. You're trying to be more optimistic, but you're just getting in your own way. Like, you're overthinking it, you're overdoing it. You're like, I can be optimistic, this will be fine. But what if? But maybe this will happen. Maybe that'll happen. And then you're talking yourself out of things, I think, Gemini. This is where it's going. So you have all this like intense emotional inner power, but you're getting in your own way. Like, it's nobody else is getting in your own way. It's just you. This is your energy. So in the past, we have the Seven of Swords. So we all know him, right? He's the liar, he's the cheater, the Knight of Pentacles. So you may have been dealing with an earth sign, or you may have been dealing with a new career opportunity. I'm kind of getting two distinctly different relationships here. Something in your life was denied from you, or the truth was denied to you. So very in your face, something was taken from you unfairly, something that was rightfully yours. I wouldn't be surprised if justice came out. I'm sort of getting that like legal vibe, maybe to do with property, or maybe to do with job. So maybe you were promised a job and someone else took it. Maybe you lost out to someone who was sneaky and went away around things, but the moral ground, maybe yourself, you did that. I'm not feeling it that way though. Crowning it is the Six of Swords. So some of you are moving on from a job, and some of you are moving on from a relationship. But this isn't a bad thing. This is like a new chapter. It's a 6 energy. So Temperance, 10 of Pentacles, Strength card, yeah, Leo energy is featuring, 10 of Wands, and the 9 of Wands. Ooh, and underneath we have that 6 of Cups. That came up for you last month. Definitely came up for the month of May, Gemini. So there was, the way I saw it was that someone from the past was kind of coming in. Their energy still seems to be sort of coming in. So I don't know if this is lingering or if it just hasn't actually manifested yet. Maybe some of you are very attached to the idea of an ex, and you're actually blocking it from coming in because you're so determined to make it happen. And you're noticing that it's not happened. So you're like focusing and focusing and focusing, and it's just not transpiring. But I still feel like that energy is coming in. We have 2 6s here. 6 of Swords, 6 of Cups are very different energies. One's moving forward and the other one's very much about nostalgia. So you've got like one eye on the road ahead and one eye on the past, and it's sort of finding a balance between the two. With Temperance, I feel like you're trying to reintroduce your passions with your emotions. So it's like finding a relationship between the physical and the non-physical. So finding a relationship between your head and your heart, or what's actually happening in your world physically, what you can see, and what you know to be true. So say you just feel like somebody's energy is surrounding you, but you can't see them. Don't panic and think it's not there. So, you know, think to yourself, this is mine, I already have this, I know it's there. You know, trust your intuition. Sort of a High Priestess type vibe going on. Temperance and the High Priestess for me are very well related, but the High Priestess is all about knowing things for sure. And Temperance is more about trying to sort of reintroduce it back into your life, like reintroducing trust back into your life, because I can see that you've had a little bit of a tough time with that. That being said, your greatest fear here is the 10 of Wands. So it's like either some of you are very hard of having to take on a relationship or a job that is just too much work or too much time. The outcome is actually the 9 of Wands, which means don't give up on it. So you're afraid of the final hurdle or the final straw that broke the camel's back, whether it be a relationship or whether it be work related. You're afraid of that tipping point. You want to have the balance in your life. Like you're trying to sort things out in your heart and your head at the minute. And in a practical sense, you know, the things that you can see are what's getting your attention, and there's sort of a neglect of the things that you can't see but you can feel. So you're getting in your own way, you're not seeing the results you want to see, and you feel like it's too much effort. It's like there's this blocked feeling. And I feel like with the new moon coming up, it's like the perfect opportunity to actually figure that out. Now, firstly, the full moon that's coming up is in your 7th house, so this is to do with your relationships, but this can be work related as well. This can be your contract with your employer. 7th house energy is typically Libra energy, you know, it's that justice feeling. But it's all about reassessing what it is you want from your contracts, whether it be emotional contracts, you know, the relationships you have with people that aren't legal, or the actual legal relationships that you have. So, you know, Gemini, for what I can see, it feels like with the 10 of Pentacles here and the 10 of Wands, your greatest fear is not seeing results, but this month you're getting results, okay? Provided that you don't actually give up on them. As I say, I feel like you've got one eye on the future and one eye on the past. Like you're not full momentum forward. You've still got a little bit of stuff going on from there. I do feel like there's somebody in the periphery that you can sense, you can feel. You know they're there, but they're not speaking. Or you know they're there, but nothing's happening. And I do feel like that's on you. Like I feel like there's a little bit of like an emotional block with the universe where you're sort of saying, yeah, I want this, but I want it because it's not there. And if you act like that, it generally doesn't come forward. You know, how many times have surprisingly people returned out of the blue? Have you really been expecting it, or have you been thinking about it to a huge degree? The Knight of Wands, crossed by the Chariot. Yeah, I actually feel like there is a fire sign who's coming in by car, or someone that's coming in from overseas. I feel like some of you are doing a very long distance driving trip, or someone is doing a long distance driving trip. But there may have been a delay with it. Seven of Pentacles and the Seven of Swords. The Empress. Okay, so some of you are dealing with Taurus. Taurus energy is coming through here. Or some of you are dealing with relationships with your kids. Some of you are dealing with relationships with your mother. The Hermit. So we've got a Virgo energy too. I think I mentioned that I feel like this is those of you that have Virgo in your chart are sort of going through something at the minute where you're just not as spiritually aligned or emotionally aligned as you could be, and you're feeling a bit stuck. Okay. 10 of Cups and Temperance. So I feel like relationships with what, there's that High Priestess card, by the way, and it comes up right beside the 10 of Pentacles. So this manifestation, trusting your intuition and trusting the universe that things will happen and then they manifest. I'm getting the abundance thing, especially with the 10 of Cups here. Trust it. The Devil. Yeah, you're obsessing over something. Star card. And the 9 of Pentacles. 2 9s. Gemini, this is interesting. We have 2 9s side by side, with 2 6s side by side, 2 7s side by side, and now the 9s. Okay. So you're seeing the fruits of your labour, but there has been delays. Do you know, it's funny I mentioned Virgo and Leo at the start. I feel like there's a significance with those 2 signs. Some of you are taking solo trips, possibly abroad. And I feel like some of you are centering yourself by going for long drives or going for drives alone. I do feel like there's a little bit of a solitary energy here. I don't know if you can see, but in the traditional Rider-Waite deck, there's 2 people in the 6 of Swords, but in this one there's 1. And she's just full steam ahead, you know, going in search of answers. I mean, this just leads into this. This is him looking for answers. She's sort of, she's more emotional than the Hermit. The Hermit's looking for real answers. He's seeking the answers of the universe. She's sort of seeking surface level. I mean, I feel like this water's kind of shallow. You know, it's like, don't look for the superficial answers. Look for the real thing. Nurture your soul. Because I kind of feel like there's just this lack of spiritual connection going on here, Gemini, that you really need to find. Because when you do, you get this absolute abundance from the relationships that you have in your life. I actually feel like some of you might be dealing with a Sagittarius that is returning. For that person, I feel like this is very, very warm, friendly energy. Possibly someone that was separated from distance or because of career. I don't feel like that's maybe a cheating relationship. I do feel like there may have been an earth sign where there was a third party thing going on. They may return. Different signs are going to return for different people, but I do feel like there's a bit of a funny earth sign energy going on. Maybe Taurus. But for, you know, there's a lot of different people watching it. It'll be different energy for different people, but I do feel like a lot of Geminis are going to be dealing with that past connection and looking for answers or looking for closure. You may find that you have to take a step back to take 2 steps forward. So, with the Hangman, I mean, it's kind of what it does in the tin, right? He kind of hangs around there waiting for answers, but it's all about getting a different perspective too. I do feel like a lot of you are going to benefit from manifestations, intentions, meditation. Really like read up on the spiritual stuff. You know, Geminis need knowledge and they need information and stuff to feel complete. You know, it's very Mercury ruled signs need that sort of emotional feeding, spiritual feeding, you know, like food for thought. But I also feel like there is a fire sign here, and I feel like it could be a Sagittarius. But I'm getting Leo. Fire signs in general, I feel, are very significant here. But as I say, I do feel like Virgo and Leo stood out at the very beginning. It just seems to be Wands and Pentacles are very prominent. Now we have the 5 of Cups and the 7 of Cups. So some of you were definitely involved in sort of a third party thing. Or maybe you had multiple options and you didn't know who to choose and you ended up losing everybody. That could have been some people's situation. For the most part, there's a rejection of love here. And it's to do with feeling a little bit restricted and feeling like you don't have enough options. Some of you are still holding a grudge about something. And I feel like it's a relationship you had to walk away from. And I do feel like it was because there was a little bit of confusion over boundaries. With the Eight of Cups here, I feel like boundaries were disrespected. Wish fulfillment card. So we have the Nine of Cups and the Ten of Cups. What more do you want? Good stuff is coming. Good stuff is coming, but if you're not ready for it spiritually, you're not going to appreciate it. So you need to be in that state of allowing, you need to be in that state of appreciation, finding the things in your day that you appreciate most. And we've got Judgment here as well. And the Queen of Pentacles. And the Page of Cups. So Gemini, there's an earth sign energy at the very end of the month. I sort of feel like from 3/4 of the way through, so like the last quarter of June, I do feel a lot like there's going to be an earth sign coming into the equation. Now, I'm not sure if this is somebody returning, but this is a romantic energy. In terms of career, you're also going to see progression there. You're going to have new opportunities to move to a different office or a different work environment. I can see a better appreciation from your superiors for you. If you're your own boss, I feel like you're going to be very auspicious this month in terms of money coming in. We're going to have a lot of money opportunities towards the end of the month, a lot of money coming in. Emotionally, I also feel like you're making a real journey, like you're having a real, it's like a process of where I just feel like you're balancing your spiritual and your practical. So sort of like making things appear, you know, the Magician energy at the very bottom, it makes me think of like you pull the rabbit out of the hat and everybody knows it's coming, but then you see it and you're still like, I don't get it. Like, but it's there, it's happened. Wow, you know, like excited about it. You know it's coming, but at the same time, it's still a nice surprise when it does. So it's like whatever it is that you're thinking of when I'm talking about this, whether it is a certain person's energy that you can just feel being around, and then you see them, I feel like that's very much what this month is about for you. Or you just have this like vision all of a sudden of, oh, I get a raise, or I get a new job offer. It's like you have this vision, and I just feel like this month there's going to be a period, and I feel like it's towards the middle, towards the end, like from there forward, you're going to have this like absolute manifestation of something that you just knew was going to happen. Like you just knew, and it's a really good one, by the way. It's a really like positive thing. I feel like when you get really clear on what it is that you want, you can use that energy around the new moon time, which is the 13th. So that is the middle of the month. And then by the end of the month, when we have the full moon, I feel like you're going to see it. Like it's going to be quite in your face. You know, you just knew it was coming and then it just suddenly happens. Whether this is romantically or in career. There seems to be a lot going on between the two, Gemini. Like there doesn't seem to be a distinct message for love and a distinct message for career. I feel like with career you're going to have a lot of progression, and I do feel like some of you have the opportunity to move. Or at least take a trip. However, I do feel like with love there is still somebody somebody that is keeping an eye but hasn't necessarily communicated so. It just is like you can feel they're there and you can feel like they're watching, but they're not necessarily doing anything about it. And that's kind of the problem with this era of social media. You know, people can check up on their exes, but they don't necessarily open up about it. You know, it's not like you can just write a letter and say, I've been thinking about you, I'd love to know what you're doing, and have no idea. Or just hear in the grapevine, but it's more so that they're keeping an eye on what it is you're actually doing. If this is the case and they don't follow you or anything on whatever it is, go private. Don't let them know what you're doing, and if they don't know, they're more likely to sort of appear, I think. I think this person's someone who's sort of like, as long as I can see it, because I keep getting this thing about physical, they're like, as long as I can see them, then I it's not as bad. But if you cut that off and they can't actually see you, I feel like it's going to be very different. I feel like you're dealing with someone who's also dealing with the practical versus the real world and the emotional. So I hope you enjoyed that reading, Gemini. If you want to book a reading with me privately, you can contact me at the email below. And if not, I will see you in July. Okay, take care, Gemini. Bye.